So the first thing you do,
Well, the first thing I do is I cut open a brown paper bag. I suppose you could use something like parchment paper that you can buy, baking parchment paper.
yeah.
But it's always been tradition for me to just use a brown paper bag from the grocery store, and that's what I always do. I cut it open, and then since there's usually ink on part of the bag, I try and find a part of the bag that has no ink on it. And what we're doing is we're lining the pan so that we know that the cake will come out of the pan easily.
So when you started making fruitcake in the 70s, was parchment paper a thing that existed and was easy to find, or was that something that was harder to find?
I don't remember having parchment paper as part of what you could get at the grocery store. But I also probably never looked for it. So
Okay.
it's possible that they had parchment paper back in the 70s, but I wouldn't know about it. So you just take and this is the Angel food cake pan.
Yeah.
They work perfectly for me. It's easier for me to be able to get the right size circle. They don't leak in the oven because the batter for this kind of a cake is so thick that it doesn't leak out of the bottom.
Okay.
It's a little oil maybe would leak out of the bottom, but you always have a pan of hot water in the oven.
Okay.
Since it cooks for 3 hours, so you always have the pan of hot water that's in the bottom of the oven, and if there was any oil or any batter that might leak out, it would go right into the pan anyway and not get all over your oven.
Okay.
So it's never been an issue.
So are you kind of steaming it when it cooks? Is that part of...
It cooks at a really low heat at 275 degrees, and I don't know the exact reason why it cooks that low, except that it's such a dense cake. If you cooked it at a higher temperature, I'm afraid that the top and sides would get too done, and the middle would still not be all the way cooked through. So I think that's why you use such a low heat and cook it for such a long period of time. Because of the cone thing in the middle of this pan, I always cut a
Yeah.
little circle out to accommodate for that. Just make sure it fits well.
Ta-da!
And then I butter pan liberally.
So have you used other types of cake pans for this?
Never. I've always used this kind of pan.
Was that just because it's what you had, or did the recipe call for that, or what?
There's fruitcake pans that you can use.
And they have a hole in the middle?
I think so.
Okay.
Like a bunt pan.
Yeah.
You could use maybe, but I always thought that it would come out easier doing it this way.
Mm-hmm.
So you do the sides real well, then you do the cone part, and when you put the paper on it, then you also butter the paper so that it's all going to release without any issues. You don't want any delicious hunks of fruit cake.
Because then you might be forced to eat it
That's right.
right off the... Oh, no.
And you always want to get this done right away because you don't want the batter to be ready to go into the pan and then go, oops, I
Yeah.
forgot to do the pan. Now, unlike other kinds of cakes, a lot of times you'll butter and then flour the cake
Mm-hmm.
pan. You don't do that with this fruit cake.
Okay.
You just get everything all well greased up and you're ready to go.